Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be working again in the fairy journal, and I just fancy doing some snippets today because I want to make lots of pockets, and I've got to make a belly band and side tucks and various things, but I thought it'd be quite handy to have a snippet roll to decorate with. So I just fancied making one. I haven't made one for ages, and I've got lots of little scraps of paper that paint some of the sprayed papers and some of the papers from the kit. So I thought I'd just do that first of all. I may also make a fabric one. They're fun to do, and they're quite nice to put in your journal. So I'm starting off with some strips of just packaging paper here. I may only do one of these strips today. I don't know how far I'll get, but I've got a couple. It's one of those things that once you start, it's hard to stop. So I'm equipped to keep going if I have time. So I've got that, and then I've got a box of scraps of paper. I've got some little snippets of some of the fabric from the cover. I thought I might pop that in as well. All sorts of scraps from the, I've just torn them up so that they're ready to go from the kits. And I've got some of these. These are the bits of sprayed paper, so they've got a little bit of shine in them here and there, which probably doesn't come off on camera at all, but there is. Believe me, there is a little bit of sparkle in there. And then after once I've made those, and I'll sew them, and then I'll probably use some little sparkly bits to decorate them a bit as well. So let's just get started. It's just a case of grabbing and sticking if I can do that. Oh, by the way, like my new mat, I finally treated myself to a bigger mat so that you can see, the whole of the space, and I've got this space to work in. It's double the size of the old one. I've had that old green one for absolute donkey's use, probably, I don't know, 15 years or something like that. So I thought it was time for a new one, and it's quite nice just to have that slightly bigger surface to work on, so that my strip goes across the whole of the surface of my mat. And I just feel like I've got a bit more space. But now I'm really paranoid about getting glue on it, so I might actually put something underneath my fabric strip to kind of protect my mat now. There, that's better. I just glued some book pages together just to add, just to put behind this, just because glue inevitably ends up going over the edges. So I just want to at least start by protecting my new mat. So let's just get sticking and plonking. And I'm going to try not to overthink it. I'm going to use my glue book as well, but inevitably when things go over the edge, glue starts to travel, doesn't it? So just going to try and be a little bit careful. Okay. So I don't quite know how this is going. I haven't made one of these for ages, so I'm not quite sure how it's all going to go. I'm just going to grab bits and hope that it all works. I've been quite a lot inspired lately by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, who uses a lot of this sort of, look at that's just got sparkles of gold and pink sparkly bits. It's just so pretty. Yeah, she uses these kind of papers that she, her backing papers a lot. She then uses them to make ephemera for her journals, which I think is a really great idea. I've not really used paints and sprays in my journals before, but I think I will. Certainly for this one it works very well, but it's just lots of fun. I quite enjoy using gold as well. A lot of people seem to like... Sorry, I'm just trying to get myself a wipe. I'm rustling away here. Probably can't hear a word I'm saying. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Right, just keep wiping my fingers because it just gets really gluey. Right, little piece of the green. So hopefully this little snippet roll will have all the colours and the sparkliness of the journal. And I'll be able to use it to decorate pockets and maybe make a belly band. Or, don't know. Might just sort of randomly put bits across and then layer up. It's been a while since I made anything like this, so might not use that. That's one of the spray papers. That's the mixed media paper there. So I'm filming this on a Monday, and this is Richard's day off. So I don't usually film very often on a Monday because we sometimes try and do something together on his day off if there's something that we can think of, or somewhere we can think of to go. And we were going to go out for the day, but then we've got invited to join Jenny and the rest at a farm. They've had a few days off, and they've been camping not far away from where they live. They've got the whole crew, both daughters, both partners, and a small person who was in charge, of course. And so yeah, they've been camping for the weekend, but now and we would have liked to gone to just pop in and see them because it's not far. You know, it wouldn't have taken us long to get there. But because of the COVID rules, they're not allowed casual visitors on the campsite, so we couldn't go. I was just going to surprise visit them, but of course I had to check with Jenny first to see if it was okay to do that. And she came back and said, "Oh, we're not allowed. We're not allowed people on the site who aren't already booked." So that didn't work too well. It just got stuck to my finger and just tore. Yeah, so we didn't do that, but then they've messaged us and said, well, they're going to visit a farm today, and would we like to join them? So we said, oh, yes, of course. Just try and stop us. So I'm actually filming quite early for me. Actually, I might put that's just a little piece, I might put that over here. Nope, up there. So I got so I thought I'd try and get my snippets made, and then we'll get ourselves ready and go off and meet them. Haven't seen them for a couple of weeks now. Obviously after a couple of weeks of not seeing particularly the little one, we start to get a bit deprived. I feel a bit deprived. We haven't seen our little one for a couple of weeks, so it's nice to be able to, because there will be 2 or 3 weeks when I won't be able to see any of them because I'll be having to isolate before my surgery. I mean, I don't have to isolate for 2 weeks, but I'm choosing to try and minimise contact just because I don't want to risk anything. I'll just tear that a bit smaller. I like this little tiny shiny butterfly on there, so I might just pop that on. Yeah. So that's just sticking down, but I like that little slightly iridescent looking, or like a, see, it's sticking to the paper, so for sure it would have got glue on my mat because of the bits that are sticking over the edge. So yeah, I think it was the right thing to protect the mat, and I haven't got worried too much about where the glue goes. What else am I going to use? A piece of this. Right, put there. for a bit of pink. There we are. We're getting there. Probably have time to do the other piece as well, I think. Because I'm going to, once I've layered this up, and I've got obviously a little bit more to go. What's that? Frog. I'm not sure I want a frog on there. And then once I've layered it up, and then I'll sew it, and then I'm going to add a few other little bits to decorate. I may have mentioned that I've had this obsession with making tiny envelopes, and that's totally, well, almost completely down to Barbara, using little envelopes on her, particularly in her fairy journal, which I thought was perfect. Little envelopes and tuck little things in. I think it's quite nice from the fairy journal. I'm going to get a new piece of this. Blech, it's really mucky already. So yeah, I've been making a load of them. So I might even use some tiny envelopes on here, just now, here and there. So that might be quite a nice little unusual embellishment. And I've got my new sparkly bits I can add. The odd sequin, maybe a button or two. I don't know. Put that there, I think. So just varying the colours a bit. I'm just going to try and lift it each time, make sure it doesn't get completely stuck to the backing paper. Have I got? There's a couple of little fairies there. I'm just going to tear that down a little bit. They're rather sweet. I can put them there, because then I can use a piece of this as the belly band or something if they're going that way round. And getting there, filling it up. What else have I got in here? Oh, look at this. Yeah, these string things just stick to your fingers when you've got glue, and then just a little bit of a string off one of the pieces of fabric. I just cannot get it off my hand. There we go, got it. Okay. Do I want a piece of that? Yeah. Just put a piece of that on. Oh. Falling out. Just got to the end of my little glue stick there. Just use the little nub. Still a bit of glue you can use on that. I might just put that there. Right. Oh, look at that, the sparkly. I'm really getting into the sparkly on this journal. Just tear that edge a little bit as well. Don't really want too many straight edges, don't mind the odd, but I think it just looks more, I don't know, gives it a softer look if it's not too all straight edged. There. Got any more of that? Like that paper. Trying to work out which is the back and which is the front. That's the slightly sparklier side. Whoop. And I'm going to put that on the end here. Don't know if you can see that. Put this on there. Ooh, there we go. I can pop that there. So I might just turn it around. There. And I've got this little piece, well, I've got a couple of bits still. I do want to put a little bit of fabric and a little bit of lace on here and there. So I might just leave that for the moment. Gotta wipe my fingers. Right, so we're getting quite good coverage. Now I've got my little box of lacy scraps here. So just gonna, where's my, there we go, fabric scissors. Quite handy to, if you've got your fabric scissors, to make sure you don't miss them. I put a bit of lace around mine, and then I know exactly which scissors I've got, because these look very similar to my other scissors. Right, so I'm just going to put a few little bits. So I've got this little tiny bit of teal lace. It's just want touches. I don't want too much. And I'm still going to use what's left of my glue stick. Bit there. Put a bit. Hang on. A bit along here. Make sure it's stuck a bit. It's going to be quite challenging to get all the make sure it's all caught in when it's only a little piece like this. When I'm doing the sewing, I have to make sure it's caught in. I'll do a bit here. What else have I got? A little bit on. A bit there. Oop. There we go. Anything else? I did do a bit of painting on some book pages. And I was trying things out for my journal, just to see how paint went on these book pages. So I might just put a little bit of that on as the colours about right. Just to kind of add a little bit of something different. I think I'm definitely running out of the glue now. I think I've used almost all of my little nub. bit of that there. Just a little tiny piece. I like that. That just gives it a little bit of something different. Right. Where am I going to put you? Put you there. How are we doing? Any more lace? Got a little tiny piece of this. Oop. No, that's the dry one. Wet one first, and then you have to wipe it off with the dry one, otherwise it just spreads the glue around, just softens the glue, doesn't really get rid of it, so then I have to wipe it off with this. Right, let's have just a little tiny piece of this. And where shall I put that? Of course, here somewhere. There we are. And another little tiny piece. I think so. Right. Over there. Over there. Yeah. That there. It's coming together. Do I need anything else? I might do another little piece. I quite like this little bit of painted book page on here. Piece up here, I think. There's there. Anything else from in here? About a bit of that. Yep, I can put a bit of that on over here. Yeah. Right, is that enough? I think it is, because I'm still going to put a couple of little extra focally points on there. So I don't know whether I need to make another one right now. I think I will want another one. The other thing I was thinking I might do is some clusters, because they're always quite nice. So I might just turn off the camera for a minute and just pull a few bits together and make some little clusters. Okay, I've got a few little bases here. I don't think I'm going to make very many. I won't need loads, and if I make too many, then they won't go in any other journal. So I've just got a variety of shapes and sizes here. This one has come from one of these painted sprayed sheets. This one, so I love this. I'll probably use this to make some tags as well, and maybe something else, a journal card or something. And of course then there's this one, which is what this one comes from, and I've already made a tag out of this, so I love this one too. I've got a couple of others here that perhaps the colours aren't quite as good for the for this journal, but I may use some of those. And of course here's my painted book page that I can use. So let's just put a few bits on, put it all together. I've got my little pot here, so I might just tear a piece of this sprayed Still got loads of this left. I feel like I'm going to have enough stuff made, or enough possibilities to make more than one fairy journal in the end. Got so much stuff, but I haven't got a lot of actual finished ephemera, that's the only thing. So we'll put that on there. Some of these bits are quite small. I've got a longer one here, so maybe I'll use a piece of this. To go on here. Just take off this curly bit. Can go on there. Another longish bit. It's got a bit of sparkle to it. Put that one on here. What else we got? Got a lot of pink. But this piece that can go on here, I think. Well, the other thing I could use would be some doily. Some bits of doily here as well. So let's have a bit of turquoise. On there. Oops. I think I need something a little bigger. No, don't want the frog. I don't know what it is. I'm not a big fan of frogs. Yeah, I've got a bit of fabric there. Can use some of these. A few bits trimmed off. These are a bit small. They're probably meant for the snippet roll. For this we need something a little bit bigger, don't we? No. I'll go on here. Nope. Yep. And some pink, pale pink doily, I think. Go on this one. I know you don't need loads of layers for these. And I have got a little pile of some of the ephemera pieces from the kits. I've mixed them all together, so I don't know which kit, what belongs to what kit. But I've got these little tiny things. So let's just staple some of these bits together. And then we might be able to add a little bit of extra embellishment. What I do want to do, have a few little bits of lace on these as well. That one can go on there, I think. Somehow. Or maybe have that underneath. That on top there. What else? Got this darker lace. Might be something a little different. Maybe. piece of this one. Can go on here. Slightly pinkier vibe going on, with a bit of a mixture of the two. But then I've got pink and turquoise in these kits, so on this journal, so it's fitting to have a little bit of both. Alright, let's just try stapling these together, and then I can do a few little focal points. Get rid of that bit. Try and keep the table free of the scraps. Put those bits back in there. I feel like this needs something still, but I'll just staple together the ones that have already got a bit going on. I think this one needs a bit more somehow. Maybe I just need a bigger piece of something. Maybe I'll just cut a bigger piece. This is just bits that I cut off from when I was making the cover. I'm just going to cut off that seam, a bit of seam, and then we've ended up with sort of 2 or 3 layers here. Those bits I don't need, are too small. I just feel like this needs something more. Maybe a bigger piece of doily would be better. Cut that off. Yeah, so I only want the background to peek through a little bit. Don't need it to show through quite as much. Okay. Right, let's just staple that. Got a whole bunch of colours going on here. And then I'll put something in the middle to finish it off. This one. And this one. And it's all for facing that way. I'll just put that like that. Right. And a little bit of something in here. No, I want a shiny bit. Hang on. Don't need it to be. That's already narrow. I only want a strip. So that one. Then I can just have that top layer. Okay, let's try that. Now that one, because it's the fabric, no, I can glue it. I think I can glue it. I'm just putting the staple on just to hold it in place, but I will glue some of the layers together afterwards and put a focal point to cover up the staples. Right, so she's rather sweet little These are all things just come out of the kit, so I think she might just pop on there and look quite sweet. Yep. So just get me our glitter glue out, I think. Pop this on. I won't sew these because I've now got staples on them, so that wouldn't be a good thing. So I might just add a little bit of glue to the layers afterwards. So there may still be a little something extra to go, but at least that looks quite a nice little finished piece. Okay, what about on here? I think I'm feeling maybe a butterfly for this one. So what have I got? Right, sorry about that. Went off searching. Found it was hiding in plain sight. I've got this little tiny box that I've got small butterflies. Some of them have been punched out. Some have been cut out of scrapbook paper. But I also die cut a few butterflies from the spray off paper. And I wondered if any of those would be any good, like that one. It might be too small. I might be able to put some of those on my snippet roll. The other thing I thought I could do, got these. I don't know where I got these. They're kind of like a acetate butterfly, but they've got a bit of shine to them. I wonder if I could use one of those. So that might work because they go really well with everything else. Something like that maybe might work. So I've got those, and I've also pulled out I've got a couple of butterfly punches as well. These are both Martha Stewart punches. So I'm thinking maybe of punching out some butterflies from my papers. So I might just try one of these. Or shall I do it from here, maybe? Has it gone in far enough? Doesn't feel like it's... No. Somehow it's got... That's it. Let's try one of these. Oh, something like that would be quite nice. That's the biggest one I've got though. They're not very big. But might look okay. Or from here. Oh, what about a purple one? Oop. One of those. Yes, I could do with something on here, but they're not big enough. But this one might be. Like that. That would look quite nice. I'll put that on there, I think. All right, over the staple. It may need a little extra help and may need a little bit of extra glitter, so I might get out my stickles. Maybe I'll go and grab my stickles and just do that. Just a little bit of gold, a bit more gold, because it's got a little bit on, but perhaps not quite enough. I might just put a bit down the middle. I hope I'm still on camera here. I might just sort of spread it a bit. come off the butterfly. Just stay on the butterfly. Maybe just a little bit on the tip of the wings. A few little touches, that's all. Just a little bit of sparkle. There we are. Don't know if you can see that. Just catches the edges. Right, let's leave that to dry. Put this on here just for a minute. Okay. Don't need the sparkle on everything, just on the butterfly. Okay, so that's that butterfly. Right, what can we do on the next one? This one's definitely too big, so it'll have to go on something else. Let's have a look at the ephemera pieces. Oh, well, she's rather nice, but she's quite large. I rather like that, but I think it's too big for this spot. I'd have to go on something else, but I think she's beautiful. Right. See if I've got anything smaller that would go. There's this little floral shape, although it is blending into the background a bit too much, that one. All these, because it's got a piece of pink behind it. I think they're all too pink. I've got that, but it feels like it might need something in the middle. Maybe a gem in the middle. No, all of these are too pink. That's her. Let me just see what I've got in the way of gems that might go in the middle of that. So I found a couple of sheets of sparkly stones and things and pearls that might work in the middle of this. I decided I think I'll try this. I'm not sure about the girl. So I thought I'd just see which one might work, and also I might put one of them in the middle of my butterfly as well, I think. So just trying to decide. I think I want a sparkler, but I think maybe this colour is better. It's a key sheet of Kaisercraft rhinestones. Used a couple, hardly used any of these. Got lots of packets of them and hardly ever used them. I'm going to have to use my tweezers. I think I'll go for the largest size. Let's just see how it fits on there. I might need to put something else. Oops, oh dear, that flew. Never mind, there are plenty more. I'm sure I'll find it when I hoover, which doesn't happen very often, so. Whoops, is that going to go? Oh yeah. That might be quite nice in the middle there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I'll glue my stone in the middle. And then glue this onto here. Oh, that's not quite central, is it? Yep, that's it. That's better. that'll hold for a minute. I'll come back and do a bit more gluing later on off camera. Okay, so that's that one. I think this one needs something as well in the middle. I've also got my little, I put my little sequins that I bought on my holiday in these little pots. I've got quite a few of these. They're very handy. They used to be for when you used to have a film in your camera. The film used to come in these little pots. I've always kept them because they're quite handy for things like sequins and glitter and stuff like that comes in packets. Just wondering about these little purpley floral ones. Oop. What about that? They're very what's the word? They're very deep. They've got quite a lot of curvature to them. Makes them not sit very flat, which is a bit of a shame. No, the colour doesn't really work. It doesn't really show anyway. Put that back in there. Right. Plan B. I think might be one of these. Again, is it going to be too dark? No, till I try, will I? What size? Shall I go for that size? That's quite a big one. I like that. I quite like that. I might just leave that there for a minute and see how that looks. Yeah, okay, go for that. I'm going to give this a try. I have to put something in the middle of it, I think, but just for something a bit more delicate. Leave that like that for now. So I've got, only this one left. So I've got some of these tickets. I've got that, which I quite like. This one is a bit more floral. I suppose it means that if I didn't use it in the fairy journal, it would be usable somewhere else. And it brings both the colours in. I think I might use that. Doesn't mean they won't get a little bit more added sparkle later on, but at least it gives them a look a bit finished for today. Because what I'll do off camera then is I will sew up my snippet and we'll come on and just finish adding some focal points to the snippet roll. And if I think of anything else I want to put on these clusters, then I'll do that as well, or show you what I've done, because we're getting quite near our hour now. So I'll turn this off and I'll come back and finish off the snippet roll at the end. So I'll see you soon. Right, I'm back. It's now the next day, and so everything has had a chance to dry, and I've sewn down the middle of this strip that's the one we did yesterday. I realised I'd put far too much glue on because I was going to sew it. So I did actually only end up doing a zigzag line down the middle because it really didn't need very much. I then did another one, the other strip that I had. I didn't put so much glue on this. I just dabbed it, which is what I should have done in the first place, of course, but I wasn't really thinking. So I have actually done 3 lines of stitching down this one, as you can see on the back there. So it's very much the same sort of thing. I used some slightly different coloured laces. These are the laces I bought on my holiday. So I've now got these 2 to decorate. The other thing I did was I did a little bit more work on my clusters. Just did a little bit more decorating. So on this one, I added a little bit of lace down the side and these little tiny butterflies. It was one of my two butterfly stamps. One had the larger butterfly and the other one had a smaller butterfly and 2 tiny butterflies. So I punched out some of those and they're on there. And on this one, I added again another little piece of lace. And another one of the little die-cut butterfly on top of the acetate one, because I thought that really just brought it out and looked really pretty like that, and a little pearl in the middle. This one, I can't remember where we got to with this one, but I did add I may have done this one on camera, can't quite remember, but anyway, and I've stuck them down a little bit more. Added more glue to the layers. So you may have seen that one finished, I can't remember. It was yesterday. Who can remember what they did yesterday? This one, I just added some of the little tiny sequins that I bought while I was away on the top there, just to give it a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a blingy look. But otherwise, it's just the same as before. And on this one, I think I added, can't remember again if I added this on camera or off. I just put that in the middle just to finish that off. So that's the clusters all finished. So I'm really, really happy with those. The other thing I did off camera was to make some ruffles from my painted sprayed fabrics. So they're all different colours. So I just tore some strips from the different bits of fabric that I sprayed. So I've got all these clusters to go, and I did that one. And just in case you haven't seen me make the clusters before, I do it like this. I pin them in place before I sew, because I can't do it as I go along. My hands aren't dexterous enough, so I just pin them up. But I have to say, the sprayed fabrics, spraying the fabric makes them quite stiff, and they were a real pain to get the pins through. And in fact, I think I managed to pin 3 yesterday, and then I was stabbing myself so many times in my thumb with the pins. I just stopped and did a couple more this morning, and my thumb had recovered a little bit, because yeah, it's really quite hard to get the pins through the thicker fabric once it's been sprayed. So I've managed to sew these, and I just thought I'd show you how it looks before I sew it, so you can see this is how I get round not being able to do it, as you go along. I'm sure most people can just fold and sew, but I can't do that. So this is how I do mine, and that's fine. I just put the pins out as I go along. They're just as quick. Just have to do that little bit in advance. So I've got those ready to go. So I just thought I'd do a little bit of decorating of these today. I may only get, because I haven't got a lot of time left, I've only got like 5 minutes left of my hour. So I thought we'd just make a start and just maybe do one of them. I talked about my obsession with tiny envelopes. These are my tiny envelopes that I've been making. So they really are quite tiddly, and I think they will go quite well on here. But what I thought I'd do, rather than sticking them on now, I won't over embellish, because then I don't know whether I'm going to use these horizontally across a pocket or vertically down the side of a page or as a belly band. At the moment, I don't know how these are going to be used. So obviously I want my pocket to be facing the right way, depending on which way round I'm using my strip. So I thought I might have to wait and put those on when I use the snippet, rather than do them in advance, because then I can actually put something inside, which would be quite nice to have a little tag or something inside, but it won't work if it's upside down or facing the wrong way or something. So I'll have to add those as I go along. So I've made a few out of the papers, and when I come to do that, I will try and remember to show you how I made them. I mean, it's very simple. They're not particularly accurately made or anything, and I've also made some plain ones with some of the dyed papers as well. But so they're a bit cute, and they're going to feature quite a lot, I think, in my journal. I just feel like I want to put little secret messages and things and little things in envelopes. I think that's just quite nice. It goes along quite well with the theme. Right, so let's just put on a few little bits and pieces just to embellish, just do a few little focal points. So I've got some more of my die cut butterflies. I mean, they're so pretty. I really need to do some more of these. These are out of the sprayed papers, and with the gold and everything, they are rather luscious. So I think I can put those on, because it doesn't really matter if they're facing the wrong way. They can be facing that way or whatever way. So I'm just going to put maybe a couple of these on. I haven't got very many, so I really need to go ahead and die cut a few more, I think. So I'm going to glue down the little antlers, because they'll be the delicate bits. I think I will have to glue down most of it, because these papers are, they're quite delicate, and once they've been die cut, they're even more delicate. So I'm going to have to sew. Much as it would be nice to have a bit of movement in the butterflies, I think it probably is asking for trouble not to stick them down properly. So I'm just going to put them just around and about on my snippet, because I just think that looks very pretty. So that's that one. Now I've got another one here which I might put at the other end, facing the other way. And then I'll make some more, and perhaps I'll add a couple to the other snippet when I manage to have time to cut some more. So after I turned off the camera yesterday, we did go off and meet the family at the farm. I think I mentioned that that's what we were planning to do in the afternoon. In fact, we met them for lunch at the farm, and we had a really lovely afternoon. Alyssa had a great time, and you know, she was feeding the various birds that were about the place, ducks and chickens, and there was a model cow that she could milk, so she had a lovely time pretending to milking a cow, but it was just water coming out. It wasn't a real cow, obviously. And we watched a real cow being milked, and yeah, there was a really good play area for her, and it was a really lovely afternoon. The sun actually came out, which was a bit of a surprise. Right, what else have we got here? Well, no, where's my little pile? So I've got these little pieces from the kit, and I've also got, this is from this little ephemera pack that I bought, a couple of little pieces in here, and I thought she was quite sweet. I thought maybe I'll just tear around her. Try to be careful, not to tear too much off, and maybe she could be a little embellishment on one of these as well. I do have some die cut fairies now. My dies did arrive a week or so ago, and I have die cut some, but I haven't had a chance to use them yet, so you'll see those in due course when I start making journal cards and things. That's not very, looks a bit odd around there, doesn't it? She's going to lose her feet if I'm not careful. No, I think she's going to lose her feet, or certainly one of them. Because I just want to, perhaps if I use my tweezers and just tear that little piece off. Okay, that's torn a fair bit off, but she's still there, just about. Where's my little pot? Oh, it's over there. Okay, so I might just put her in somewhere. Perhaps I should ink her a little bit. So I think this video is going to run over a little bit, unless I can edit some bits out, but I'm still learning my new editing software, although it is working quite well. As long as I don't have to take any, I haven't really got the grips with taking bits out of the middle, and I can join videos up and cut bits off the ends, but I haven't quite got to grips with cutting bits out the middle if I feel I need to. I'm going to put that there. So, I mean, the same thing applies in a way that she might be the wrong way. If I put her slightly at an angle, it won't matter whether she's horizontal or vertical then, will it? Whichever way round this bit ends up being, hopefully it won't matter. I like her in that spot because the colour behind she kind of blends in nicely with that little bit behind. I hope I've actually put enough glue on there. A little bit behind, more behind here I think, because now I've sewn on it I don't need to do any more sewing, so I'll make sure it's glued on properly. How are we doing over here? A bit more I think. Right, let's see what else I've got in my little pile of bits and pieces. Now I do love this one, and I remember I liked this one yesterday. Now it might fit better on the other snippet because that's a little bit wider I think, so I might put her on there. And I've got a few nice little tickets. She's rather good, I like her. So there's always this danger that I'm going to put everything in horizontally, and then when it comes to doing vertical things, let's see, maybe I'll put her in like that. Let's tricky, isn't it, when you don't know which way round these bits are going to be used. Maybe I'll do it that way. And that'll almost tell me which bits I have to use as a belly band and which bits I have to use to decorate pockets. Put that there, I think. And I want a little something in the middle of these butterflies. I've got some gems here, so I've got some little lilac-y ones, but I don't think the colour works quite right. And then I've got these, and they're not quite right either. They're golden pink really, aren't they? So I've got all the wrong colours. Let's see what else I can find. I think I'm running well over now, so I think after this I'll just have to turn off the camera and finish these all off camera and just show you how they look when they're done, really. I've got some pink pearls, or I've got some blingy, crystally things. Either of those might work. Maybe some pink pearls will be quite pretty. Maybe I'll do pearls on one and crystals on the other one, and then we'll have to call it a day. And I apologise if this video has kind of run on. I will try and cut some of it out or shorten it in some way so it's not overly long. I think I'll put the glue on these. Oop. 3 little pearls down there, and then I've got my little crystals. How many would go on here? I think I'll do 3, but they'll just have to be done individually. Just run a little line of glue down there, and then we'll see how many I can get on. One. Yeah, I can get 3 on. 3. So I can spread them out just a little bit. So they will need to dry now anyway. Right. So that's all I really had time for, I'm afraid. So much as I would love to sit here and decorate them up a bit more with you, I think I'm going to have to do it off camera, otherwise we'll be running into another hour by the time I've made all these decisions. Oh, I just have to quickly show you these. I'm going to put some of these on as well. These are just little bits of that netting that I've got, which I cut a square, scrunched it in the middle and tied a piece of gold thread around it, and they're quite sweet. The little fairy wings or bows, whatever, they might go on. A couple of these might go on as well. So I've just made a few of those, and might make a few more because I think they're quite sweet. So that's another embellishment that I might use. So I'm just going to have to carry on sticking in my own time. And I do apologise, I have run out of time. But I will see you again soon. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.